right, good morning. We are officially started with our first Westside Transform Summit of 2025. I'm John Ahmann, the President and CEO of the Westside Future Fund. We're very happy to host this meeting this morning. And for those that are in here for the first time, we are officially live. So the different cameras around are providing a live feed into our social media feed. For those that are watching remotely, welcomes, and we're glad everyone's here this morning.
Yes.
I'm delighted to be here with my co-host, Ebony.
Hello, thank you, John. My name is Ebony Ford. Happy New Year to y'all from me. So happy to see y'all this morning. I know it's cold out there, ain't it? So I really appreciate y'all getting out here to see us. Again, my name is Ebony Ford. I am a resident of English Avenue, very proud of that. And I am a very proud parent of Hollis Innovation Academy, where my son attends, all right here on the Westside, Bestside. Feel me? Great to see everyone this morning.
Yeah, no, thank you. So
Thank you.
I always like to start with welcoming any first-time visitors. So do we have anyone at our Transform Westside Summit? Our
Don't be
first one of
shy.
2020?
There you go.
Raise your hands. All right. All right. All right. Thank you. First time our NPU chair. Thank you. All right. Thank you for being here. So for those of you for the first time, a little bit about our program. In just a moment, we'll move into a devotion part of our program. So we're excited about that. Then we're going to there'll be more people coming in, and we'll take the time to do self-introductions to help build community and fellowship. And then we'll have our program for today. I'm excited today, myself along with, and I'll introduce them in a moment, other members of the Westside Future Fund team. But we thought to start 2025, we would talk about some of our key activities that we have planned for 2025. So we wanted to give an update on our activities and have an opportunity for question and answer to be able to share what we're excited about for 2025. And then we always end by 9 o'clock.
Yeah, sounds good. So it's going to be a very engaging conversation. You guys are really going to enjoy this with some of the very incredible Westside Future Fund team members, most of whom are here helping out at the summit, and they're usually here every month, so we appreciate them. I know they're very excited to share insights and updates with all of us for the new year. Feel free to jot down any questions or thoughts that you may have as we go along, because I do think we'll have a little bit of time for questions at the end. So as a resident here, I am actually personally very excited to hear about the updates for Westside Future Fund, so I hope you guys are as well.
No, thank you. So once a month, we put out an e-newsletter to update not only some of our activities, but also what's happening around the communities. Raise your hand if you read our newsletter. The people, yay, we put that out, and we put a fair amount of resources into putting that together and getting it out. So we really not only want it to be talking about what we're up to so people are aware of that, but if you have other things that you want to make sure you share, we want to know that as well. So you can see the stories, things that we highlight are not just specifically activities of the Westside Future Fund, but we want to highlight all the community work as well. So please let us know if you have a story you want in that newsletter.
For sure. You said something before, John. It's not AI generated. There's actually people working on that newsletter. So please read it. A lot of work goes into that. We also invite you to get connected with Westside Future Fund via Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Facebook. If you are watching the summit live right now on YouTube, please make sure that you do subscribe to our channel. If you are here in person, I hope you're enjoying your Chick-fil-A breakfast. And we also invite you to get 2 raffle tickets from the back at the table where you entered, and we're going to do a raffle drawing at the end and give away a Home Depot gift card and a Goodwill Up North Georgia gift card. So make sure you get your tickets and stick around to the end.
All right, thank you. So we're now in a shift into the devotional part of our program. I just want to bring up our devotional speaker. But for those that are here for the first time, we draw inspiration for our devotion from the story of Nehemiah in the Old Testament, where Nehemiah went back to Jerusalem and worked to make it safe for the residents, but also a story about, at least from my reading of it, about building community through a set of values, and a lot of that built around caring for people in the community. So we take a lot of inspiration from Nehemiah. And when we begin our devotion statement, just make sure we ground it. We have a devotional statement. We've been I think we first put this together. This is our 10th year anniversary, by the way. We first put this devotional statement together, one of our early statements. I'm going to read it as I always do, and be up behind me. It's become our tradition to begin our meetings with a positive inspirational message from a member of our community. Recognizing that many in our community are driven by their spiritual faith to participate in the Westside revitalization effort, the time at the beginning of our meeting is an opportunity to share various inspirational reflections. While the speakers may articulate their personal faith, it's meant to be inclusive, inspiring, and meaningful with the story of Nehemiah as our guide. And I'm excited that Sean Watwood will be giving our devotion this morning. He is a resident of English Avenue.
Yes.
And so in the true inspiration of Nehemiah is participating in the rebuilding of the community, very active in the community. He serves as the Senior Director of Corporate Philanthropy and Sponsorship at the Morehouse School of Medicine, putting together their partnerships, building all the great work he did for the Home Depot Backyard. His diverse career includes roles such as Senior Manager of Corporate Partnership at the Home Depot Backyard and Director of Cultural Affairs for an International Consulate. He has over 15 years of consulting experience. He's worked with clients like Georgia Tech, Cirque du Soleil, Second Helpings, and has had leadership roles in marketing and PR for one of our great Atlanta theaters, True Color Theater Company. And he lives, I mentioned, in English Avenue with his wife, Camille, their rescue pit bull, Ollie, and he is working on some, the health equities in our community at being board member of CHARS. So we know you're going to come and give us a lot of authenticity, and we're grateful for it. So please welcome him up for our devotion.
Come on, Sean.
It is so awesome to be here. That's me. I'll try to remember the clock this time. I'm so happy to be here. What's amazing is when you guys presented, well, I guess 2 years ago, my little yellow house was on one of the slides. And Tameka's like, just have the conversation. So thank you guys so much. I love the Westside Future Fund. I always say that's what I'm an evangelist actually for, is the Westside Future Fund. And when they asked me to speak, I said, you gave me too much time to think about what I want to say because I want to say a bunch of things. So I'm going to talk fast. And I'm trying to get it all out as fast as I can. So for those who remember when I talked last time, I said, don't wait for you to feel ready for the moment. Now what I'm going to talk about is the moment, right? So Happy New Year. Does anybody do anything that walks into the new year with intentionality? Anybody do a vision board? All right. Yeah, what I do is I do a vision list. Camille and I do a list, and then we fold it up, we put it in our stockings, and we put it away. And then the very next year we can say, okay, what did we do? My sister does a word, bold. If you know my sister, she is me times 100. The fact that she chose the word bold makes no sense to me, but I love her for it. What I did is I came across a quote right before the new year, and that quote had just sunk into my soul. And when I was asked to talk about Nehemiah, this quote made sense. It's by Voltaire, and it says, all mankind, will be judged on the good we do not do. One more time. We will be judged on the good we do not do. There's even prayers in certain faiths that say, forgive me for what I have done and forgive me what I have failed to do. And it made me think about Nehemiah. When Nehemiah heard what needed to happen. You know what he didn't say? Not my job. I'm a cupbearer to the king. I'm not a builder. I'm not an engineer. I'm not in construction. Not my job. He met the moment. And that's what in the short time I have, I want to encourage each one of you to meet your moment. Because when that moment happens, you make generational change, which is what the Westside Future Fund is doing. They did it for me. They're doing it for everybody. They're keeping people in their homes. And they're finding new legacy residents. That's what she said I could become. A part of something and a part of community. And I didn't say, not my place. And they didn't say that to me either. So I want you to think, who was Nehemiah before he was Nehemiah? Like, what do you mean by that? Who was Einstein before he was Einstein and was a patent clerk? Guess what? He was still Einstein. The thing that changed was the moment. The thing that changed Nehemiah from being the cupbearer was the moment. So each one of you in your journey and your experience and your education and the hard times and the good times are preparing you for that moment. Because when that moment hit, Nehemiah knew, I'm going to need some letters. So that's what he asked for. And you know what else he did? When he heard, he wept, he prayed, he meditated, he fasted, and then he went. You know what he also didn't do? Just make a note, and this is where y'all can never ask me back again. He didn't pray again. He didn't fast again. He didn't pray again. He didn't fast again. He didn't pray again and fast again and say, wait a minute, no. I'm going to wait for someone else to lead me. Right? He prayed, he fasted, he went. Faith without works is, yeah. So that's what we say. I remember we did a block party over in Vine City, and someone says, whatever you're praying for God to do, that's what you're supposed to do. Right? So we're waiting so much for somebody else to lead when no one can follow if no one's leading. You're saying, Sean, but that's not me. It's not me either. Wasn't Nehemiah. He was a cupbearer. He had to go back someplace else. But he heard, it put him on his heart, and he's like, man, I'm in this place for a reason. And I want to encourage each one of you, of where you are now, you're there for a reason. And your journey, as much sense as it doesn't make, you're there for a reason. And you're like, but wait a minute. How will I know it's my moment? Because you're there. It's a shocker, guys. He was there. He was the cupbearer. His journey took him there, and he went. And so many times we're waiting for someone else. Think about if everybody that has a street named after them in this neighborhood said, not my job, I'm going to wait for someone else. Nehemiah was not a prophet. Nehemiah was not a rabbi. So what I'm going to encourage you, and I'm going to finish early because I love you guys, and it gives the actual people here more time, is recognize, have a sensitive heart, have sensitive eyes, have hands and feet that are ready to do, and meet your moment. Because it will never get done if we always wait for someone else to do it. And that's what I'm really, really proud of. Everyone at the Westside Future Fund is, they're doing it. They live here, they work here. They're part of the community, and they're making a difference. So for each one of you, and for me, this is a challenge for me, meet your moment. And that moment doesn't have to be massive. It doesn't have to be, well, I need to do something this. It could be cleaning up the park. Right, Annie? It could be saying hello to someone who's walking around the streets who just needs to hear it that day. But what I don't want to see is us to wait, and I'm here in 2026, and 0 things have changed. Because we're all like, arms crossed, not my job. I'm not okay with that. 2025 is going to be a great year. First of all, I'm turning 50, right? That's terrifying. And guys, it goes super fast, right? So fast. And I have missed so many moments that I have to live with that. But I tell you what's not going to happen is miss moments as we go forward. It's not going to happen. So each one of you, I love each one of you. I want you guys to feel encouraged. I want you guys to have eyes that see of what 2025 brings to you. The universe will conspire to put you right where you need to be when that moment arises. And all I'm asking you guys to do is not be so scared, not wait for someone else, and do. Happy New Year. Thank you guys for the time. Love you guys very much.
All right, I think I heard a consistent phrase, Sean. Thank you for that. Was meet your moment. I appreciate the way you're modeling that in your own life in terms of meeting your moment. And I think the other part of that was meet your moment on behalf of the other, on behalf of the community. So what can you do in leaning in? And often when we have to lean in, I think I heard that too, confronting your own reluctance about it, maybe your own fear about it, maybe, but to step into your moment, and we'll come back to a great 2026. So let's thank him again for a great devotion this morning. And we're going to meet the moment by getting to know each other right now. And the next part of our Transform Westside Summit is our self-introductions. So Ebony, and for those that are here for the first time, Ebony is going to move around kind of row to row and have an opportunity to stand up because people can hear you better if you're able to stand. Hold the mic close to your mouth so you can pick up your name. We ask for you to say your name and an association work with or live, and then we would really want you to not say anything else. We want you to stop. And not because we're not going to love what's going to ever come next. We know we will. We just got to, but just a timetable we're trying to hold to. But if you have something you're thinking, this is really important for everyone to know. We would agree, and we want to help you get your message out through other mechanisms. But as Ebony goes, I'm really encouraged to be listening to who, because back to meeting the moment, you may hear someone that can help you meet your moment at the summit, through networking, or maybe you can help them meet their moment. And to sort of take the time to build community. And that's why we take the time to do these self-introductions, because we found it to be one of the most effective ways to help build community on behalf of a greater West Side.
Very true. Thank you, John. So I'd like to kind of do this section right here, go back and forth. And then we'll do this section here, go back and forth, and then the back section. Just so I'm not running around as much, I'm gonna have to come up out of this jacket anyway, but I don't wanna get overheated, okay? So we'll start right here, if you ladies are ready. All right, thank you.
Good morning, my name is Raquel Hudson, I'm with Westside Future Fund.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tameka Askew, and I'm with Westside Future Fund.
Morning, everyone. Rachel Carey, Westside Future Fund.
Also, can you make sure when you stand up that you're in view of one of the cameras, this one or that one, if you can? Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brian Lee. I'm from Scratch Food Group. We're a plant-based food manufacturer for retail and food service.
Good morning, Michael Davis, Atlanta Beltline Partnership.
Good morning, I'm Amanda Rubin with the Community Foundation for Greater Atlanta.
Good morning, Vanessa Barnes with Novellis.
Good morning, family. My name is Stephen Turner. I'm with 404 Partners. We're a real estate development and project management company.
Good morning, Ben Gaxiola, Buildex Modular, Housing and Master Plan Communities.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Neil Shorthouse with Partners in Change, personal, social, and economic upward mobility.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sarissa Watson. I'm also with Partners in Change.
Good morning. I'm Ashley Todd. I am a resident of Ashview Heights, and I fundraise for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Good morning, Linda Adams, Vine City resident.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Courtney Spencer. I'm with the City of Atlanta, the Department of Grants and Community Development.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kiba Jackson, Program Manager of the Lead Hazard Capacity Building Program with the City of Atlanta, Department of Grants and Community Development.
Hi, everyone. William Bradshaw, also with the City of Atlanta, Department of Grants, Community Development, Grant Services Manager.
Good morning. John Maddox with Blue Ridge Atlantic Development.
Good morning. Troy Farina, a Westside resident and associate with Bobby Dodd Institute.
Good morning. Larry Gluth with the Bobby Dodd Institute.
Good morning, Michael Oden, Mo for short, CEO of Dream Home Today. We develop and sell affordable housing.
Good morning, G.S. Brooks from the Avarice Movement. I'm here from Brooklyn, New York.
Good morning, Evelyn Terry, At Risk Movement. Who do I go to now? Thank you. Yeah, for sure.
Good morning, I'm Robert Young. I'm a native Atlantan. Thank you.
Good morning, Alan Young.
Good morning, Pamela Shelton, Vine City.
Good morning, Brian and Lean, Vine City.
Good morning, everyone. Danita Knight, President and CEO, YWCA Greater Atlanta, and soon to be Phyllis Wheatley, Westside, YWCA.
Good morning, Jerry Kiernan, Associated Press.
Good morning, everyone. Dr. Leroy Wright, Senior Pastor of First Thessalonian Missionary Baptist Church.
Good morning, everyone. Rosario Hernandez, resident of English Avenue and the Executive Director of Historic Westside Gardens.
Good morning, everyone. Maria Armstrong. I'm one of the co-founders of Raising Expectations. Good morning.
Good morning, Jamar Jeffers, Chief Development and Partnership Officer with Partners in Change.
Good morning. My name is Kristen Mosley. I am with Chick-fil-A and interning with the YMCA. Good morning, Jared Geyer, YMCA Metro Atlanta.
Good morning, Alexis Slocum, YMCA of Metro Atlanta.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Danielle Spann. I'm the executive assistant to T. Dallas Smith, who's actually the chairman of Westside Future Fund and the founder and CEO of T. Dallas Smith and Company, where I'm the office manager.
Good morning, I'm Leonard Watkins, resident of Vine City and the new MPU chair.
Good morning, Annie Moore, resident of English Avenue and Director of Operations of the Green Team of English Avenue.
I'm Maria Supporta of Supporta Report and Atlanta Way 2.0.
Hi, Scott Jones, Construction and Renovation.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kendall Cunningham. I work with the Boy Scouts of America Atlanta Area Council. I am a district executive, and the district that I serve is Southwest Atlanta.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Trevor Gunter, English Avenue resident.
Good morning. I'm Christy Beam with the Academy for Innovation in Medicine, which is a healthcare career-focused proposed high school here, or middle and high school here in the Westside.
Good morning, Letty Ashworth, Genuine Parts Company.
Good morning. My name is Ingrid Thompson, CEO of Nehemiah Project Community Development Corporation.
Good morning. I am Tracy Powell. I'm the office leader for Pinnacle Financial Partners, and we're a full-service bank right next door.
Good morning. My name is Christopher Reed. I'm a real estate commercial appraiser at Pritchett, Ball, and Wise.
Good morning. My name is Hunter Dalrymple, and I am a commercial appraiser at Pritchett, Ball, and Wise 2, and we do a lot of work here on the West Side.
Good morning. My name is Dan Byers. I'm a commercial real estate agent at McWhorter Realty Partners.
Good morning. My name is Basim Khan. I'm also a commercial real estate agent at McWhorter Realty Partners.
Good morning, family. I'm Tillman Ward, Community Resources of Atlanta, based in historic Vine City, the gateway to greatness, and home of the Cook International Peace Park. Thank you for being here. Like all of us, we constantly look for alternatives and creative, innovative ways to prevent gentrification.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Veronica Stieler. I'm the CEO of Stars Align. We're a global charity, and we bring the global education community together to raise awareness about STEM education. Thank you. It's nice to meet you.
Happy Friday, everyone. My name is Tasha Ford. I've had long-time ties to the West Side for about 30 years now, since I was a student at the illustrious Clark Atlanta University back in the late 1900s. Right now, I work as an independent community engagement consultant, and I'm going to give the mic to my cousin, Ebony. Thank you, Ms. Ford.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Reverend Terry Hightower. I'm the Executive Director for Antioch Urban Ministries, Associate Minister at Antioch Baptist Church, right across the street from us. Good morning. It's good to see everyone today.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joe Dingle, and I'm with Strine Investments, a local Atlanta real estate company.
Matt Maxwell with Oaks ATL Community Development and English Avenue resident.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cassandra Kirk. I serve as Chief Magistrate Judge in Fulton County. I want to ask that you pay attention to budget. I have 3 staff to run 9 courtroom.
Good morning, Aaron Fisher, Vine City resident.
Good morning, I'm Lauren Soroya with Chick-fil-A, partnering with Westside Future Fund.
Bob Butler, Coldwell Banker Real Estate.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Shalita Compton, Director of Real Estate at Atlanta Housing.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Tara Howard, Development Executive of Real Estate Planning and Development at Atlanta Housing.
Hi, I'm Seema Shah. I'm an independent nonprofit and philanthropic consultant.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Malika Trini Coker. I'm the founder of Ignited Word, which is an organizational creativity and social impact consulting firm.
Hello, my name is Ebony. I live in Vine City and I have 2 kids at Hollis.
Stephen Muhammad, the Georgia Black Constructors Association, the largest conglomerate of affordable contractors throughout the state of Georgia, and also with Vine City Civic Association, and we do the largest food distribution in Vine City on a regular basis. Thank you. And Judge Kirk, thank you for donating the furniture to the single homeless mother.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Mykesha Olson, and I am the program manager with Healthy Homes Atlanta out of the city of Atlanta.
Thank you guys for speaking, introducing yourselves. Let's give each other a hand.
No, thank you. I always take a lot of inspiration out of the self-introductions because there's so much capacity, I represent in the room, and just kind of think about that metaphor of a brick back to Nehemiah, that we're all that, and as we all kind of collectively work together. So, hopefully you may have heard someone you didn't know that you might want to meet, or someone you think you could serve, could really encourage that after the summit. What we want to shift to now, and I'm really excited on behalf of the Westside Future Fund, is to give you an update on what we have planned for 2015, and give 25. What did I say? 2015. I take 3 cups of coffee. I've only had 1, so I'm going to blame it on the coffee, lack of coffee. 2015. So, as I'm going to bring up some team members in a moment. It's a little bit of a prelude. I started at the Westside Future Fund in 2016. And the Westside Future Fund was incorporated. Articles of incorporation were filed, and it was created as a not-for-profit in 2015. And so we consider this, our 10-year anniversary. And you see up on the slide a picture of Dr. King with his wife and his 4 children. And where I take a lot of inspiration as a native Atlantan, and I know a lot of folks in the audience do as well, that Dr. King being a native son and the impact he had in our country, not just what got done, right, but how he chose to do it, and the difference it has and continues to make. But we take a lot of, and heard Tillman talk about one of those frames in his introduction. But we have as our vision statement at the Westside Future Fund, how do we help develop a community that Dr. King would be proud to call home? And for me, in my own kind of personal touchstone, I now live in Vine City on Sunset, but to really reflect that if his wife were on the front porch of their home, 234 Sunset, and you're walking by and wanted to say what you got done, what would you want to say? And one of the things I often reflect for me is what it would probably as important as the what would be the how. How did you treat a person? Compassion, and leaning in, because ultimately, right, he was a very inspirational Christian minister in terms of changing hearts and changing minds. And so as we do our work at the Westside Future Fund, and we'll acknowledge with lots of imperfections as we go about our work, but we try to really have that inform our work and our values. And again, what I feel like, and I've probably since I began, I've probably given over 400 or 500 tours of the community. And a lot of people who are in our city have never been in these parts of our city, right? And what to me, and Tillman has been a great introduction to others, is the history of greatness on the West Side is overwhelming. If you think about the street names, all the people that have come from the West Side and the difference they have made in our country. And so what I love about living on the West Side is helping, bring more light to that. And we really, and you'll see as we talk about our work, really try to, and as we began our work at the Westside Future Fund, a lot of our early work, our first couple years, we're doing a lot of listening and planning to really inform how we went about our work. So we're here today to talk about what we're doing. So I'm going to bring up members of our team now to introduce our panelists. So they each are going to talk about their area of update. I want to reflect too. It's not everyone. We have team members in the back too, but they're each going to talk a little bit about what's coming up in 2025, and then we'll take some time for questions. So first, I want to bring up Tameka Askew, our director of our Home on the West Side program. So Tameka, come on down. So Tameka oversees our Home on the West Side program. We'll talk more about it, but she oversees anyone going into our single family. She oversees our anti-displacement tax fund, and all of people going into our rental portfolio. Because very important for us in that community building are these community retention guidelines and how we go about putting people in our housing. So we're delighted that Tameka joined our team. Raquel Carey, our Chief Real Estate Officer. Raquel, I'm doing all the wrong things this morning. Raquel has been with us since 2018. She, Raquel has one part of her work which is doing affordable housing requires very complicated layered financing. Philanthropic funds, public funds, other funds, and putting those together. So Raquel oversees and puts together all of our project financing, and then also oversees all of our acquisition pipeline. Lee Harrop's here today, who works closely with Raquel, and we'll have Derrick up, as well as all of our single-family and multifamily construction. So all things real estate. Raquel Carey, thank you. And then next up would be Raquel Hudson. Raquel, all right, come on up. Give her a round, give them some energy, maybe give a little clap. So Raquel is our director of our volunteer programs and does an amazing job. Because our volunteer program is one of those ways we build community. We have she's going to talk more about it, but an amazing day planned tomorrow, our Martin Luther King volunteer program. And so she puts together, throughout the year, and talk more about all things volunteer, the Westside Future Fund. And next up, Derrick Jordan. So come on, Derrick. So when I started, yeah, you got a weaker clap. I don't know what to say about that. Raquel got a hearty one, but that kind of faded out. I got to you, bud. But when we started, Derrick actually came onto the board of the Westside Future Fund because he was living in Vine City, and that perspective of living in Vine City, he has a background in affordable housing, and then when we needed to lean into someone to oversee our affordable housing and multifamily work, we then approached Derrick. So at that point, he joined and has been consulting with overseeing our multifamily build out. So he'll be talking about that. He continues to live in Washington Park, just across Joseph E. Lowry from Vine City. All right. So I'm going to go through each of the panels, and we'll have a little time for Q&A. So thank you all for being here this morning. So I think we're starting with you, Ms. Tameka. Raquel, thank you, Sonia. So Raquel, we're very excited about all the great work you've been doing with Westside Volunteer Corps. So tell folks a little bit about the Westside Volunteer Corps, and that we have a big weekend planned for Martin Luther King Day.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. So I wanted to start with kind of a recap of what we did in 2024. It was a good year for us. Every year, our volunteer engagement program has grown, and 2024, we had the largest number of volunteers engaged. We had just over 3,000 volunteers come and do some type of engagement on the West Side. And what that looks like is it could have been a park cleanup, a community cleanup, working in our schools, drawing or painting murals. We did school supply drives. We did bingo with seniors. I'm happy to see some of the community partners and nonprofits that we work with here this evening, so I'm sure we'll hear from them later on in this discussion. But what I do is I work with the schools, I work with the nonprofits to try to understand what are some of their needs and ways that we can support. Westside Future Fund, our brand, our presence in the community is one where people are getting to know us. And so they're coming to us and saying, how can we be involved? And so in my role, I not only find ways that they can work specifically with Westside Future Fund, but also with the community partners that we work with in the community. Because lots of times they may not have the mechanisms and the mechanics to do that volunteer recruitment And sometimes it's one of those things where someone may have it in place, but they're like, hey, Raquel, do you have any extra people? Because our people canceled or something like that happened. And so we're happy to work together and to partner and identify what those needs are. So I'm constantly working in the community, talking to people and understand what they have going on so that when people come to me, I'll be able to speak to that and develop some type of volunteer engagement opportunity for them. And so what you saw is that, like I said, we had more than 3,000 people volunteer last year, and they volunteered at almost 40 projects. I think we had about 39 projects last year. And tomorrow, we will get together and do our MLK Day of Service. We're not doing it on Monday this year because there's a lot going on the West Side. We've got that college football championship at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So for that and other reasons, we decided we were going to do it on Saturday. So we're excited about that. We've got about 1,200 volunteers registered so far. And so there's still some space. So if some of you want to get involved, please do so. So thank you.
All right, thank you. And so I know, as you mentioned, if on the volunteer, you once saw, we have a lot of great, corporations that want to come and do activities in the community, and that's a list of some there. And every Saturday, once a month, you have a community volunteer day as well. So if people want to sign up, we would encourage that as well. And you're always open to, to ideas people have about, because often sometimes community members contact me and say, can y'all help me with this park or this cleanup? And you're always open to hear that as well.
Most definitely. So what you see here on that previous slide was the list of those corporate partners that came in the community last year. Because we were having a conversation like, who's coming in? And this is who came last year to do volunteerism with us.
All right, no, thank you. And, moving right along, because we had a lot we wanted to share with you. Our Home on the Westside program, and what's a really important part of our Home on the Westside program, and first, we'd love for you to share with people here, is our community retention guidelines.
So let me just start off with explaining what Home on the Westside is. So Home on the Westside is the signature program for Westside Future Fund, where we provide high-quality, affordable housing through single-family homes, multi-family units, but we also have the anti-displacement tax fund that is specifically for legacy residents that meet our qualifications through the community retention guidelines that will show. Go back to the next.
Yep, sorry.
Through live, work, or learn.
Yeah, and on the live, work, learn, it's the neighborhoods that are, English Avenue, Vine City, AUC, Ashley Heights.
And Just Us.
And
Just Us.
Yeah, and Just Us, thank you. And also, if you work at any of the AUCs or graduated from any of the AUCs, you qualify, right? So back to kind of the, building a community, one of the things that we heard when we started our work was we know we needed a lot of people to move back in the community, and the community said yay to that, but we really would love to see people that have kind of a historical alignment and connection to the community. Not that not everyone's welcome, but it's just that as we think about that first part of the repopulation. So a really important part is people that have like a connection to the community as part of that repopulation as well.
And it does, and it really goes back to the mission statement of we don't do to the community, we do with the community. So Nicole and myself, she's amazing. We deal with the people. It takes a lot to deal with a lot of people that are actually coming through the pipeline.
And one thing we wanted to highlight as part of our home ownership program is that, thanks to a lot of great philanthropic donors, we were able to offer down payment assistance. So if you could quickly review, because this is why we're excited, and if you know people or interested yourself to apply, but to really build equity and help people be able to afford a home, because we only price a home at what it costs us to build it, but we use this down payment assistance to help people get into homes.
Okay. As seen on the screen, Westside Future Fund offers up to $60,000 of down payment assistance, which is actually based on your AMI and other things that we factor in by our lenders. Mm-hmm. That down payment assistance can actually be layered with other programs as well as like Atlanta Housing or Invest Atlanta. So we work with lenders that are actually familiar with that, because I don't think people realize all lenders do not have to take the down payment assistance, because it is a lot of work and it is a lot of paperwork. action that you have to go through.
And we want to show some of the, I think this was last year what we got done. It was, 11 new homeowners, the down payment assistance that went out. And then I think one of the things, right, we would love is we have, I'm going to click through some slides right now, but these are homes we have for sale. If you want to talk about any of these. And I saw Matt here with Oaks ATL has been a great partner with us in helping build some of these. So these are all homes that are currently we have for sale. So if people are interested, you'd love to hear from them. And then the last thing we want to highlight, this is a new multifamily 588, 592 Paynes. And this is as part of this is a renovation and the quality, but would you want to say any words about this and release up?
So really excited about 588 and 592. Actually, that is online. We're going to let Derrick speak a little bit more about that.
Okay, great. And so Tameka works with Nicole Jones as part of our Home on the Westside team. And the other thing we always love to have more help from is helping get people in our anti-displacement tax fund. I see our partners, the Atlanta Beltline Partnership, they have a similar program. But there are we think there's still a fair number of people out there that would qualify for anti-displacement tax fund but are not in it. And so if you know people you think could be a part of that, we'd love to hear from them. Next up, I guess, so Derrick overseeing a couple of key multifamily bills, 1839 Boone.
Yeah, and before we talk about the new construction, I do want to say we spent a lot of 2024, 23 doing neighborhood rehabs. And those were critical to the environment from a blight perspective, right? So we did about somewhere between 30 to 40 units of affordable housing, but at the same time, we fixed a lot of streets, Paynes, James P. Brawley. Now that we're moving over into new construction, and if you all are familiar with the area, if you drive down Boone now, we have 33 units of affordable housing now, which will also include 1,200 square feet of commercial space that's going to be available for young entrepreneurs or people who want to get into business. And let me make sure I put some texture to this. Cook Park has been the only real major development on Boone in the last 15 years, the park itself. But now as we start looking, if you drive westward on Boone, you will see construction of 3-story multifamily units. We also have another 120, I think Quest is doing across the street, just blossoming that corridor from the dilapidation that's been there for the last 15 years. For us in particular, this is a project that's important to us because for the first time we've had Woodruff come in and actually fund affordable housing in our community. That's the first time through John's leadership in the Westside Future Fund. We've been able to bring corporations in the community who are now willing to invest. So by the end of this year, these will be completed, and you'll be able to see just great movement along that corridor in general. This is our second project along, if you're familiar with Donnelly Howell, Bankhead, right? Along Bankhead, behind the BP, this is Echo Street development. That's actually been done by Matt Maxwell, who's back there in Oaks ATL. This is construction of 24 units. We're going to have an AMI that ranges from 30% AMI all the way up to 80% AMI. But what's key here is, if you're familiar with the Echo Street development that's on the north side of Donnelly Howell, those rents range from about $2,000 to $3,000, right? Just south of that, what we're building, our rents will range somewhere between $700 maybe to about $1,200, right? Because of the subsidies that we have. But you will also see that this will be market rate like housing. We got 11.5-foot ceilings here. They're gonna have granite, backsplash, just a beautiful home for low-income persons. So this work is critical to what we're doing along that corridor. If you're also familiar, this is the only affordable housing along that corridor, right? From that end of Bankhead all the way down to Bankhead Station where it runs into Grove Park. There's no affordable housing there. Townhouses that were building, they were $1 million. There were another set of townhouses that sold for $600,000. So the work that we're doing here is critical for the boulevard itself and the avenue in the area.
All right, thank you, Derrick. And maybe talk about one that'll be coming later this year real quickly, 390 Sunset. Then I'll go to.
Yeah, we also have projects that are in design, right? They're also going to be new construction. We have another 28 units that are going up on Sunset that we actually have a partnership with the state of Georgia. We received $2 million to do a project there. We also have new construction that's happening on 280 James P. Broadley, located in Vine City, across from Hollis. We also do about 18 units there. And then we have several others in the design phase that we're going to be doing throughout Vine City and English Avenue over the course of the next 4 to 5 years, all new construction projects to serve both families and seniors, right? So our methodology here is trying to be more inclusive of everyone who needs affordable and workforce housing.
Thank you, Derrick. And back to Rachel. So when we started, we owned no land, and a big part of our strategy, back to alignment, was to purchase up a lot of blighted and vacant land. And you see the first slide showing your land homes, but Rachel, you could do a quick overview of this, and I'm going to move to the blight slide.
Sure. So what you're seeing here on this map is all of Westside Future Fund's land holdings in English Avenue and Vine City. That's where we've been buying land for the last 6 years. So every home that Tameka showed you, every apartment building that Derrick showed you, that's all property that we have gone out and purchased, in many cases with vacant, abandoned buildings on them. We have either rehabbed those buildings or torn them down and built new. With the apartment buildings, as Derrick said, we got rehabbed them from start to finish. We're finished with all of them now, and moving on to our new construction. But this is the type of work we've been doing to put together assemblages of properties so that we can do projects of impact throughout the neighborhood. And if you flip to the next slide, as sort of not just a byproduct, but also an equal focus of those efforts, was to help remediate the blight that was pervasive in these neighborhoods going in after the recession. So if you look at that map on the left in 2017, that's English Avenue and Vine City. Everything in red on that map, those are all blighted, abandoned structures. Over 400 properties in English Avenue and Vine City were considered vacant. 1 out of every 4 properties in 2017. Another 600 properties were just empty. So there was just so much vacancy, blight, abandonment. It led to really, many of you have lived, it led to really unsafe conditions, right? So a part of the land acquisition that we were doing wasn't just to get a whole bunch of land, it was to help with that problem too. And so the results of that we're really starting to see bear fruit. If you look on, just last year, we had the study updated to see how things were doing in 2023. So what you see here on the map on the right is a whole bunch of those red dots are gone. And we've had a 50% reduction in blighted structures since we closed our impact fund, which is our funding source for buying all of this land. And since then, we've had new parks come online, we've had new schools open, we've had lots of new homes that we have built and others have built, apartment buildings, and still working on bringing amenities into the neighborhood. As we've done our acquisitions, we have really focused on creating these development clusters. And you can see on this map, we've got clusters at Lindsay Street Park, Catherine Johnston Park, the James P. Broadley corridor, which runs all through English Avenue and Vine City down to the AU Center. Over at Vine Jet, over near the Westside Beltline Connector Trail, across from Hollis Innovation Academy, Magnolia Sunset Block in Vine City, and then other properties, kind of strategic properties scattered throughout the neighborhood. And this is very intentional so that we were focusing our acquisition activity near other areas of investment so that we could leverage the public parks and the public investment with the Beltline, with APS, with the city and parks department so that we could ensure that those properties around them were developed equitably. So it wasn't just going to the highest bidder and accruing to the people who could come in and pay the most, but making sure that they were for people who were aligned with our community retention criteria.
Yeah, no, thank you. And we're always excited about, and some of the partners in the introduction this morning is, back to that rebuilding community. We were very intentional, thanks to the great team, as we, acquired land, in proximity to other great community assets, whether that's a park or a not-for-profit serving the community or a school. But part of that holistic redevelopment, which so many of you here are a part of, is creating that. And so whenever we're out there a tour, we're not only just talking about what we're doing, but all the new assets, Derrick, the parks and others that have come online. Because part of what we try to remind people, especially as they're out there raising money, is that now we've made all these investments in community assets, we don't want people not to be able to afford to live near them and help build better lives. And I know if you want to say about our focus on the Broadley corridor.
Yeah, so this is kind of zooming in on our two areas of main focus right now, which is over by Katherine Johnston Memorial Park. It's where Sean lives. He was one of our first round of homeowners on Proctor Street. And then along the James P. Brawley corridor in English Avenue. It says here we own about 35% of the property on Brawley and Katherine Johnston combined, and that's really enough where we feel we could have a meaningful impact by activating those properties in sequence. So you want to go to the next slide. What you can see here is all the homes we've done on Brawley in the past couple of years, right? Each and every one of these homes we developed and sold to somebody who had a tie to the community. So you can just literally go down the block, 554, 542, 543, 554, 524, 518, next slide, 588 Brawley, and then we have three others that are currently under construction, 407 James P. Brawley and Adorable 22, 443 Brawley, a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house that'll be going into the Atlanta Land Trust, and 479 Brawley, which I think is under contract as of today. Really beautiful renovations. We're so proud of them, and we have many, many more homes that we will be starting on Brawley within the next year.
And we know we want to take time for questions, so we'll end up with one thing we're excited about, especially along with MLK Day, is you could talk about 220 Sunset.
Absolutely. Okay, so just a quick update. I think many of you know that we own 220 Sunset in Vine City. It's just right next door to the King family home at 234 Sunset. We purchased this property in 2019. It was just about to fall down. We've now stabilized it, and we've almost completed the interior renovation of the project. It was done in a manner to we can get historic tax credits on it. It's a very accurate historical preservation. We are going to be occupying this property through a partnership with Spelman. Maynard Jackson, who spent many of his childhood years here, his mother was a French professor at Spelman. And so we created a partnership with Spelman to help identify employees of theirs who would like to become homeowners in the neighborhood. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's really exciting. So they will work with Spelman to come live in these units, have an affordable rent, be able to save up money for a down payment assistance, and then hopefully within a year be able to buy a home from us and move in and become a homeowner in the neighborhood and be right close to their work and everything. So we're really excited to see this property finish up later this month. Oh, yeah. Those who want to mulch. Lee said that tomorrow, as part of one of our MLK Day volunteer sites, we're doing a landscaping project at 220 Sunset in partnership with Trees Atlanta.
Yeah, so Trees Atlanta developed the landscaping plan for that property, and so we will start the execution of that tomorrow morning. So we've got some volunteers that are excited to play in the dirt.
And we'll end up real quick with some kind of our last couple of commercial, but this also is a real special activation, if you want to hit it real.
Sure. So another very important property on James P. Brawley is at the corner of Brawley and Cameron Madison Alexander. It's the Yellow Store. This is another property we built in 2019, another incredibly historic property, important property in the neighborhood. We have been doing the renovation plans for this building. We're going to be renovating the downstairs ground floor as 2 to 3 commercial spaces, and upstairs as 4 residential units. So we're really excited to see this corner in particular revitalized and offer food and beverage options and access to fresh, healthy food for the neighborhood. So we'll be getting construction on this sometime later in the spring. We're in permitting with the city right now and anticipate being open in 2026. Oh, one more thing we might want to mention. A pretty well-known building in English Avenue. This is right at the corner of English Avenue and Donnelly Hollowell, the Carnegie Library. This building was built in 1922 after the English Avenue School, which is on the same block, opened in 1911. So it was a public library serving the neighborhood and the children who went to that school. At one point, it was the most heavily used library in the city. After it finished its time as a library, it became home to Atlanta's largest black-owned taxi cab company, and over the past couple of decades was the home of Topol Construction. After the founder of Topol passed away last year, Westside Future Fund purchased it, and we are currently at work figuring out how we're going to renovate it lightly. It's a beautiful building. It doesn't need any exterior work, but to renovate it and activate it in a commercial way to kind of bring this asset and really enliven it within the community.
Thank you. I think this is the last one. We'll move to Q&A, but we have some of our partners here this morning, but just real quickly remind folks about 970 Jefferson Street.
Yeah, 970 Jefferson Street is our home. The former home of the Atlanta Community Food Bank. The Westside Future Fund's offices are there, but there's another dozen plus not-for-profits that have their offices there. Well, many of those are food and community centered. So you've got the Foodwell Alliance, you've got Michael with the Atlanta Beltline Partnership, the Atlanta Mission, we've got community farmers markets, MARTA markets, the Georgia Peach Truck, Giving Kitchen, Hands on Atlanta, Second Helpings, Urban Recipe. They used the warehouse space that was, formerly the warehouse space for the food bank to kind of conduct their volunteer delivery and distribution facilities from there. So it's a great space. There's lots of volunteer activities that happen there all the time. And we hope to continue to further develop this 65,000 square foot property, which is Beltline facing, to someday help support local entrepreneurs and small business owners. Like if you can imagine giving somebody like with a little small business a spot over at Krog Street Market or at Ponce City Market, I mean, that would be an amazing thing to do for their business. So if we can do that with our building in Jefferson Street, that's what we'll be looking to do as its next phase of development.
All right, thank you. I know we went through all that quickly. Thank you, team. And we've got about 10 minutes or so to take questions, from the audience. So we'd love to take it. We'll have Ebony will come with the mic. If you raise your hand so she knows you would like to ask a question, and just please direct your question if you have a particular person you want to answer it.
Okay, thank you. We got Tolton Pace over here. He's going to help on the side just to save a few seconds for me running around. I think he's going to go first.
I'm excited to see how Boone is going to have all this housing. How do we recommend people to get on a waiting list for some of these apartments?
Excellent question. We would love for people who want to get into these apartments to go to our website, go to home. You can even go to homeonthewestside.com, and that will actually redirect you to the right page on Westside Future Fund's website. That is where we start kind of the intake questions for getting you on our waiting list. I will also note, though, you can contact Nicole Jones. Can we just, Misty, quickly flip back to the slide with 588, 592 Paynes? I'm sorry, I just want to, the phone number is there. It's 404 793 2670. 404 793
2670.
So if you just don't even have time to go to do that survey, give us a call. We'll get you started. Because we've got a lot of units coming online, and we want to make sure we have a great waiting list.
And Nicole is actually
she's right over there.
Table the
There's Nicole.
Table.
She is very pleasant to work with. She will help you with whatever you need.
Thank you, Rachel.
Good morning again, Linda from Vine City. I don't have a question, I have a comment. I want to say thanks for the work that you're doing in the neighborhood. Not only are you building houses to bring in senior families, and like I've always said, somewhere in those houses you're going to have a grandmama, great-grandmama, and a neighborhood mama. So I want to say thank you for the great support that you give the group that I founded, Westside Seniors on the Rise, in which we do social things each year to bring the seniors together socially, and you all have supported us for the entire term. We've been here doing it in the Vine City and English Avenue neighborhood, and I just want to say thank you for your great support.
She can't stand up. I can't stand up, but I don't want to hold the mic and stand up. So my question is, when you're doing all these developments and things for the West Side, what kind of community engagement is happening? The reason I'm asking is because you're revitalizing these neighborhoods, but I'm curious to know how you are focusing on the youth, like what the youth need. Is there a community center, any youth programs, anything like that? Because it's not just about us, the adults that want a safe place to live. The kids need somewhere safe as well.
Well, one start. We partner with a lot of great, organizations that do a lot of great work there. That's where we try to be very mindful of all the great community partners that are. I see one here today with Rising Expectations as one of our great partners in working with youth that we love working with. One way maybe Raquel, you could we try to do that some through our volunteer program. Maybe I was just thinking about the great work you did with the young folks working with the volunteer program.
Yeah, so we work with the schools quite a bit with our volunteer programs. We also have youth that we are engaging as interns. I think we have about 5 or 6 right now, and they are funded through a grant we got from Georgia Natural Gas, and we're in our 2nd year of that. So that's another way, bringing youth in, having them to have some real job experience and get paid for it. We have a young man who is working with our facilities manager, one of our facilities managers, and is learning a trade. He's someone that traditional school was not the right path for him, but he's learning HVAC, and yesterday he was helping to cut wood and learning how to use a saw. So those are some of the ways that we're engaging some of the youth in the community.
Thank you.
Maria, supportive. I was interested in your last slide when you talked about the path forward and wanting to raise a total of 55 million, of which you've gotten 35. Can you elaborate in a little bit what the time frame is and what you hope to accomplish with that fundraising goal?
Yes, so I think that was our next, there it is. So even though we have the name Westside Future Fund, when we were launched, we weren't launched with a philanthropic endowment. And when we started to work, I know everyone on the team, as we thought about repopulating the neighborhood, you saw the slide from Rachel, but also in a way that would be affordable to people that had a connection to the community. We knew when things were moving so fast, the market was moving so fast, that public funds were not moving fast enough. And so if we didn't put a lot of extra resources into buying land and developing land, we wouldn't hit our mark. And so that's where we really leaned into. We've had some amazing partners. I saw Danny here at the Arthur and Blank Family Foundation. Thank you for now being on the Atlanta School Board. Thank you, Dan. Tolton. I'm sorry. Tolton, thank you for all your service to our community. But back to some of the original calls from Arthur Blank and Dan Cat from Chick-fil-A, we entered with a lot of momentum, but we spend a lot of time out there. I do in the team, raising funds, and now with our Next Chapter campaign to hit some initial, going back to the land use framework plan, we made some commitments around affordable housing back in 2017 that we intend to hit and honor. And this Next Chapter campaign, you saw some of what you saw coming online was our previous chapter. We now have estimated how much it costs to activate our remaining land holdings. So you can see 285 affordable housing units, various properties, another 225 single family with down payment assistance, the continued anti-displacement tax fund. Thanks to 10 Atlanta corporations, we have an investment fund where the corporations only want their money back. They're not looking to make any money on their money. So it provides very low cost financing to Westside Future Fund. But to deliver that affordability, we need that philanthropy paired up with public funds. So to your question, we launched it at the Coca-Cola Company in August of 2023. And we're able to share now, once we have philanthropy, what we can do with it, which is really exciting. But we launched a campaign of 55 million. Our first major donor was $10 million from the Arthur Blank Family Foundation to launch. The Coca-Cola Company came in with $1 million. We were soon followed with the Chick-fil-A Foundation, the Home Depot Foundation, and many, many others. And so we closed the year having raised over $35 million. And so what we are very focused on this year is to close that campaign, because what we can do with our real estate, as soon as we know we have raised the money and ready to go, we can accelerate. And one of the things we want to do in 2025, because we've had a lot of success, is really accelerate our build out, especially our single family. So we've had a lot of success. And the last thing I'll say, and back to the tours, what is bringing in the philanthropy is not what we, the Westside Future Fund, are doing. I want to be clear about that. What is bringing in the philanthropy is the collective work that's manifesting, right? So all the things that we're driving by, the parks, the other things, it's the collective work and resilience of this community that's bringing in that philanthropy. It's the history and the greatness of this community, the people that came from it that's bringing it. So we just get to be a portal for that, but I want to be clear that this success is this community's success. Mm-hmm. And we're very grateful to be able to build on that. So.
Thank you.
I came in a little bit later, so forgive me if this has already been answered. But what are some of the bridge programs that you have in tech for maintenance of this program? A lot of times when we have these communities that are redevelopment, the community is not engaged with government and having a bridge between the housing, the government, and industry. So what will that look like in terms of maintenance of the neighborhoods, keeping it up, making sure things like the anti-displacement tax fund comes in place, and also communication with community in terms of how to continue maintenance with their neighborhoods, making sure they have trash receptacles, street sweepers, that their lights out, and all of that.
That's a great question. A lot in, one, I'll say in the assets that we own as part of our fundraising and our financial modeling, we imagine keeping them in kind of perpetuity. And so part of what we do is ensuring that. To your next question is kind of a larger question. I know a lot of people here is how we continue to advocate and work with our public partners to invest more public funds on some of the issues that you just raised. So we're out there advocating for some of those investments and where we're always very mindful in terms of our own financing of how it goes into the future. I don't know if any of y'all want to.
I would just say, we try to control the things that are in our control. Right? So for the properties, all the vacant properties that we own, we keep them boarded, we keep them mowed, we make sure they're safe, we don't let people, kind of squat in the houses, we insure them. So we try to do our part to make sure that the land that we own, that we're being good stewards of that land and for the community. For the anti-displacement tax fund, we have a continual fundraising obligation for it. And part of the reason that we raise this philanthropy is so that we can have this be permanently affordable apartment units, right? So that we don't have to sell in 15 or 20 years. They can continue to be assets for the community and continuing, to strengthen our relationships with the city through all of their departments so that we can be one of the many voices that are advocating for more resources and more attention on the community.
I think one of the key things that's the undercurrent here is that we are trying to repopulate the neighborhood, right? And if you notice on the slide, and Rachel talked about 400 vacant lots, and we are now half of that. We're trying to get families, people back in the community, because the community is really what should be driving this. If a decade from now, or 20 years from now, the Westside Future Fund is not here, Sean will still be here. Derrick may still be here, or, just the people in the community. That's the real push here. Repopulating the push. Now they have a political voice. Now they can vote. Now they can do things that are going to help stabilize and keep the community going. So if we can walk away and we said, hey, we put 3,000 new people or 3,000 people in the community, we did our job. We did our job, and the community got to kind of pick up that baton and keep running with it.
Maybe we have time for one more.
Yeah, I don't know who to direct this to, but what I didn't see on the slide, what is the construction schedule or plans for all the boarded up and the garden style apartments on Oliver Street that are like cyclone fence around it?
Sure. So we acquired that property back at the end of 2022. Our development partner is actually in the room, Blue Ridge Atlantic Development, John Maddox. We have been working with them and Oaks ATL. We have submitted a low-income housing tax credit application, both with the state and a bond allocation request with the city, so that we can demolish those apartments. We have a CDBG grant that I think we'll get sometime soon this year that will allow us to tear down the buildings that are currently there, and then we'll be rebuilding that site with 120 units of multifamily housing. Hopefully, if all things could break in our favor, we'll be starting on that by the end of this year.
Yes, sir. I see Tillman's hand. Maybe. I don't know. We haven't. Is that?
Mr. Tillman, go up afterwards and talk to him? Oh, okay, I appreciate you. Sorry about that.
All right. Well, I guess I'm being cued that we're out of time. Is that the message?
I guess we are. Okay.
This is a minute.
Well, just a lot of gratitude. As I've reflected, it's the time of those communities in the hundreds of years, but this is our 10th year anniversary. And we're excited to share our work today. We try to No, we want to be transparent in terms of what we're doing and answer your questions. So the team is here after we finish. So if you have additional questions, we couldn't get to them, we're happy to take them. But we are so honored to be a part of this community. We take a lot of pride and privilege in hosting these Westside Transformation Summits. So thank you for coming this morning. I think the last thing we want to do with this to honor it is Ebony will really quickly do the drawing for the Home Depot gift card and the Goodwill. So we'll call out 2 numbers, and then we can get about the rest of our day. So the Home Depot gift card and the Goodwill gift card. Are you ready to call the names? All right, go.
Is 1657, 399-1657. That is for the Home Depot Foundation gift card. That is the red ticket. Congratulations. Come up afterwards, we'll get a picture, okay? Goodwill of North Georgia also has a giveaway today. The white winning ticket number is 314-0404. 314-0404. Anybody? Don't be shy. 314-0404. Okay, moving on. Next white ticket number, 314-0394. 314-0394. White ticket, not the red. 314-0394. Okay, congrats. Come up afterwards, okay? We'll get a picture. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great Martin Luther King holiday, and we look forward to seeing you back here in the 3rd Friday in February.
Well, not here. Not here.
Oh, actually, we have a special announcement. I was running. In honor of Black History Month, we're going to go have our Transform Westside Summit in honor of Black History Month at the Russell Center for Entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So our February summit, we want to really lift that up. We're going to be at the Russell Center for Innovation in February.
Register here, you guys. See you next month at the Rice Center. Not here. All right, thank y'all.